As promised, joining us once again, Dan Horn, author of this book, Anointed Moments, Catholic school principal, very successful, by the way, because he built his schools on love. Everyday miracles while transforming 2 schools, thousands of people, and a dog named Blue. I told our viewers that you would tell us about the dog named Blue.
Yeah, Blue was a great dog who was somebody's throwaway. He was, I found him under a car one day in the parking lot at St. Thomas the Apostle, and he had been abused. And I was living at the time at a place that I couldn't have animals. And so I would have to take Blue to school with me every day so that the landlord wouldn't find out that I was keeping a dog. And so Blue became a school dog. And eventually when I went to St. Genevieve, Blue was part of the interview. And I let them know that if you get me, it's a 2-for-1 deal. So I call the book Anointed Moments, and I consider any moment where I experience a profound sense of God an anointed moment, and Blue. And I write an entire chapter about Blue at both schools and how he provided me with many such moments.
And I'm sure the kids have as well, and the faculty and administration too, because you've done a fantastic job. What's the situation now as you go back from Christmas vacation? The 2 schools are combined, and
we're a parish school.
Yeah.
So we are one of 5 parishes in all of Los Angeles that have a high school. So there's an elementary school, a high school, and up until a year ago, we were 2 separate schools, 2 separate administrations, and now I'm fortunate enough to be president principal of both schools. And it's the best of both worlds, because I was an elementary school principal for 9 years, a high school principal for 13 years, and now I get to have both, and I love it.
And you've attracted some attention from some notable people, for example, former President Jimmy Carter, Helen Reddy, who support what you're doing and absolutely are just taken by it. Can you tell us about how they have interacted with you and with the school community?
Sure. Well, St. Genevieve High School is a national school of character, and so I take the kids around the nation and we talk about what makes our school a school of character. And one time when we were in Georgia, we came to the attention of President and Mrs. Carter, and so we went down to their hometown of Plains, and that was probably 2006, and just hoping to shake their hands became a relationship where now our students are doing a documentary right now on Mrs. Carter. We have taken 2 of our shows, Carousel, which is President Carter's favorite show, and Singing in the Rain. We've taken 100 students, cast and crew, back to Plains, Georgia to do the shows for President and Mrs. Carter and the community back there. He's been to the school twice. She's been there once. It's become an incredible relationship. And so I tell a lot of the stories in the book about how that all got started, and many
Reddy
moments. Helen Reddy
came out of retirement
at St. Genevieve High School. Yes, she did two nights of a benefit concert at St. Genevieve. And the reason why she chose St. Genevieve to come out of retirement is because she had visited St. Gen during her retirement. We have a speaker series, and we had invited Helen to be a speaker. And she had one of the highlights of her life, as she describes it, at St. Genevieve the night she was there. So when it was time for her to come out of retirement, she did 2 nights at our school to benefit our music program. And so that's another chapter called Getting Ready, and it's R-E-D-D-Y, and it talks about our relationship with Helen and how she has become enamored with St. Gen.
And also your account of former President Reagan, the encounter with Natalie, very touching as well.
Thank you. At the time, President Reagan already had Alzheimer's. Okay. And we had been out at the Reagan Library. I had taken a group of St. Thomas, this is back when I was at St. Thomas the Apostle, elementary school principal, and taken a group of students out to the Reagan Library. We had a chance to meet Mrs. Reagan. And so I asked her if it would be possible for the kids to come and sing some Christmas carols to former President Reagan, and she said yes. So at the time, he would still go to an office that he had in Century City every day, and he would dress the part, although he wasn't that aware. But we got to go in, and we sang Christmas carols. I tell a story in the book about we gave him a sweatshirt, and he even had difficulty reading the shirt, and the kids had to help him read what the shirt said. But there was one magical anointed moment in that concert where we had instructed one of our kindergartners, her name was Natalie, to go up and we showed her a picture of what he would look like, and we said, we want you to go right to him and sing a song. And I can't remember the name of the song right now that she sang, but there was a moment where his lips started to move along, and he had this moment of clarity, and you could see it in his eyes where he was so transfixed on this little girl. And when we were leaving 10 minutes later, and he singled her out, and he said, "Thank you for the song, Natalie," and he remembered her, and it was a moment that she gave to the Gipper, so to speak, and what I consider to be an anointed moment.
One of the great presidents in our history, if I could say that, and also just very quickly, the kids graduating from high school, going to college, what's the rate? Pretty high, isn't it?
99%. Yeah.
It wasn't like that before.
It was fewer than, it was less than 50% back in 1999, and we had a lot fewer students at the time too.
Just a tremendous story, anointed moments. Dan, thank you so much for being with us here in the living room at Catholic TV.
It's been
a pleasure hearing the story. I look forward to reading the book and hearing more about it, and I know our viewers want to do that. Can they get a copy basically anywhere?
danhornbooks.com.
Easy enough to remember.
Easy enough.
danhornbooks.com, Anointed Moments, a must read for you.